Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Good morning from the flight deck, not the train cab. Surprise! We're going flying first this morning, and then we will go on to Tees Valley Line. I kind of had this, wanted to fly first this morning, so we're going to switch it up today for fun. And we're going to go flying first. But we're going to set this flight up to this beautiful airport right here on the coast of this island. And that'll give everybody time to kind of get settled in and everything. Hopefully we are going... And 34 X-ray is our approach ILS. We'll just pick that. 46-minute flight. So we're going to land here. Good morning, Patrick. We're going to land here at this airport at Poretta, and then we're going to hop out, and then we're going to fly from Poretta down to, where'd it go? Right here. This is a bit of a longer stretch, but yeah, it should be some nice scenery. I know part of it, most of it's going to be over the water, but we're going to try to have some nice coastal views and all that. And so hopefully everybody enjoys it. Let's get in here. We've got our everything set up. We're going to come out, follow this leg out. Cruise, then come in, come around right there, and put this thing on the ground. So now, while we let's get in here and get our instructions so we know what our takeoff altitude is and everything, and we will talk a little bit about some things that don't make much sense in this simulator. We will be doing a flight through a valley tomorrow. I've got that all planned out. Bastia is where
altimeter 29.9er, wind 149er at 14. Cleared for takeoff runway 10.
All right. Well, we don't want the winds, we don't want the clouds, so we're gonna have some nice sunny weather. It says takeoff, maintain 11,000 feet. Let's get that dialed in. So the intent, the surprise was supposed to be that we were going to fly in a 747 from JFK to Miami. That was the surprise. I talked about something big happening. So, here's what happened. I decided to do a flight last night from Heathrow to Lisbon, just to kind of get used to the plane. You know, where all the dials and knobs, and the things that I would need to fly the plane as best as possible. And everything was going like very well. Taxied out to the gate, got everything started up, pushed back, taxied out to the gate, took off, or taxied out to the runway, took off. No incidents, you know, like everything was going well. And then about 3/4 of the way, I had about maybe 75-80% of the flight left to get to Lisbon. Like I was starting that. Good morning, Mick. I was starting my descent. You know, I was starting to make my plans for my descent. And just before I started making those plans, the all my stuff went completely blank. All my everything, all these, you know, these screens, all those screens, everything that would give me information went blank. And then
Foggy 237, keep speed not above 185 knots.
Well, we're definitely not
keep
anywhere
speed
near
not
that.
above 185 knots, Froggy 237.
I'm guessing that's because of maybe it's a wildlife thing or something. We're not in danger of getting anywhere near 185 knots. Anyway, so you know, everything goes off, and then I cannot descend the plane using, you know, the vertical speed. Nothing's working, so I turn all that stuff off. I turn off the auto thrust because that completely shut everything. All the engines were just, not that they were shut down, but they were all throttled all the way down. And, you know, it didn't make any sense. This is so, of course, I wrote I try to be a very practical person in the forums, basically stating this is what's happened, I don't know. And that basically my title was, I don't know. Now, this is what got me. Everybody focused on the title, not what I wrote. And so offered nothing to say, well, yeah, it sounds like this is what could have happened. Now, the only thing that I could think of was that I had the controller gone into sleep mode, because, you know, if you don't move around on a, you know, it's gonna kind of go into sleep mode, which is going to pause the game automatically because there's no controller. And so it I thought, well, maybe that's what's caused it. The thing that gets me is that there's so many variables that if you try to eliminate everything, you still may not find the answers to what caused the issue. So, but then, you know, I'm thinking this morning when I'm getting up, because I was like, you know, last night before I went to bed, I'm like, I really want to fly again, because I don't want to become so jaded by what happened last night that we don't fly anymore, you know. So that became, I'm like, well, if I fly first thing in the morning, then I guess that's the kind of the surprise, because the surprise of flying in a 747 just went right out the window. But then I'm thinking too, like, 3 people, one moderator and 2 other folks in the forums, their focus wasn't on, yeah, it could have been this, it could have been that. You know, there's a multitude of things that could have caused that thing to happen. But instead, all 3 of them focused on the title. The moderator got very in-depth. Well, you know, you gotta... The title doesn't make any sense, and nobody's going to look at your... So I changed it last night before I went to sleep. I totally went to, you know, I was laying in bed, but then I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, let me change it then. Changed it. And it's kind of off-putting in a way. Because it's like, well, you know, I was expecting at least somebody would have read, instead of focusing on the title, that somebody would have read it and said, yeah, that's happened to me before. I tried different things, nothing's working. It's just a major, for all intents and purposes, the whole thing is glitched. You know, the plane's glitched, or doing those extended flights, those endurance flights or whatever. It's got its problems, and it's stuff that they got to sort out. Something like that, but no. And it kind of makes me feel like, okay, well then, what's the point of the forums. If because I put it under, I responded and I said, yeah, okay, the title, I will change it. I didn't, it's kind of like what I was trying to convey was I've thrown my hands are up in the air because I don't know what else to do, or nothing about this makes any sense. It's like you're shrugging, you're just like, I don't know. And so it's just very, when nobody responds in a way that kind of gives you some clue, because I think most people who play Microsoft Flight Simulator, when they experience things, they go back and they say, okay, well, let me take this off, let me delete this, or let me do, we start going through a checklist of sorts. Okay, well, let's see if I do this, does this make things better, does it make it worse, until you're trying to get to the bottom of it, so that maybe you can figure out a workaround, or you say, yep, this particular thing is bugged beyond belief, I can't, I'll just stay away from it until there's more patches or updates or whatever. So, I thought at least maybe overnight, because some people don't sleep at night, some people are up and probably cruising the forums. I would have thought that I would have gotten at least some kind of response by now, because I changed the title per the suggestion. Nothing. So it's almost, I feel like it's been all for naught. And, I don't, again, it's like I'm throwing my hands up. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. Because what I tried to say in my post, replying to everybody who was like, change the title. I'm trying to be constructive in my criticisms, in a way. I don't want to go down that negativity rabbit hole that a lot of people seem to have done, especially since this was released on the Xbox. Because a lot of people in the forums blamed the fact that it was brought to the Xbox. And if those pesky console players hadn't gotten this, everything would have been gee golly gosh fine. Which wasn't really true. A lot of people pointed out as well, no, the Sim had a lot of problems before it was even announced on the Xbox. So you can't blame the fact that it's on the Xbox. You're just, you're looking at a convenient target, so to speak. So I don't know. I don't know. And Mick brought up a valid point when I was watching his stream last night, because I was flying while watching his stream, which was really phenomenal, by the way. You guys, Wyoming looked spectacular there in ATS. The thing though is even though I feel like I found something pretty solid in this Beechcraft 350i, I feel confident that I can fly it. I've not had any, most of the time if we have any issues, we can take control of the plane, which is what I try to do, and that's the real kicker. I was able to get the plane descended manually. I slowed down, I was going to try to land it, and then basically the game crashed the dashboard. It kicked me all the way out to my main screen on my Xbox, where I can pick games and go to the store, all that kind of stuff. Just totally unexpected. And, that was the, at any, most any other time, that would have been the time to have that rage, throw stuff, break stuff, whatever, which wouldn't have really solved anything. So, of course, I try to take the practical approach and go like, well, it is what it is. But at the same time, as Mick pointed out, yes, right now we have a plane that we can fly in. And it's not bad looking. It's got that business sort of executive sort of feel to it, which is cool. If anything happens, we can land it ourselves. We've got enough time, I think, where we know what to do and when to do it. And that's a good thing, So I'm okay with that. But Mick also, what happens if the problem comes into this plane? What are we going to do? And that's a very valid question. Then I guess I'd go back and I wouldn't fly IFR. I'd fly in the 152 again, and it would just be short flights, kind of like how we started. Or we would do aerial touring. Lots of places. There's plenty of places that we could take off from the small airport, fly around, see the sights, and then land. So that's an option as well. If things got that bad where suddenly this plane was experiencing the same issues. I'll be honest, I would be very gutted if the problems that we faced last night in the 747, or we've had the problem also in the Airbus, the A320, although we were on approach, we were already down and ready to line up, and so everything kind of worked out that I was able to manually land the Airbus there at Nice. I'd be gutted because I do really like this plane. It's fun to fly. It's pretty speedy for the most part. It looks good. I like the cabin. I like the flight deck, and I like looking out and watching the propeller spin every once in a while. But I wanted to start doing some of the bigger planes. And right now, I don't know that I'd feel comfortable doing it.
Going to 124.725 Lufthansa 5904.
There's just too many unknowns. Maybe if I did one of the Cessna jets, that would be, I guess, okay, because those are pretty fast. They can fly pretty far. But I just feel like I'd rather stick with what I know right now, what works, and hopefully there's some updates, some fixes coming that fix a lot of these problems. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. So, anyway, that's my Monday morning rant. That's what got us here this morning. I was really hoping, I think it would have been a nice surprise to do a 747 flight from New York to Miami. That was like a 2-hour something flight. Probably way more plane than we needed for that distance. The 737 MAX or the Airbus would have been more practical, but they would have probably taken a little bit longer as well. Yeah, also when we buy the planes to fly, but then does not work properly, yes, that's another valid point. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration is coming also in the community, in the forums, is it's a money issue. And I think that's true for any game, whether it's, you know, you buy a plane or if you're playing a racing game or whatever, you buy a car. In Train Sim World 2, if you buy a route with addition, or you get the add-on locomotive for a route, and things don't go well. Because you, and one of the things, and this is the crazy fine line, right? Now, if you say, well, I spent, let's say you've already invested $200 in this game. That's flight stick, throttle, rudders, the best version that you can get in the game. That's well over $200 right there. Plus, you've already bought some of the add-on aircraft. So you're looking at maybe you've already invested close to, let's say, ballpark figure $500 total. And that may be pretty high, but anywhere from $300 to $500, right? That range. And then things aren't working. Well, of course you can be mad. Now, the funny thing is, you have a lot of people who kind of scoff at that and go like, well, the developers don't owe you anything. And I always tell people, it reminds me of, okay, so if you go to a dealership, let's say you go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and you've done your research, and you're ready to buy the newest Mercedes-Benz car available because it looks amazing, you can't wait to drive it, you're excited, you're ready to sign your name on the dotted line and drive that thing off the lot. Like you're not even gonna take a loan. You're gonna go and do. You're like, I'm gonna pay for it right up front, so that way you don't have to worry about a car payment, right? Because you saved and you're just like, I'm gonna get this car. And then, so you buy it, and let's say it's an $80,000 car.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS X-ray runway 34 approach.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS X-ray runway 34 approach from E237.
I feel like we need to drop some altitude. Let's go to about 7,000 feet, just so that we have a bit of. Let's go to 5,000. I think that's reasonable. So you buy that car for $80,000, and then you drive it off the lot, right? And a mile down the street, the car just dies. Like it just comes to a grinding halt. And, you know, you go back and you think about all the things that the salesman said, okay, don't do this, and you don't do any of those things that they say not to do.
E237, you are 1,000 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 11,000 feet.
Because I'm getting ready to fly into our approach, goofball. I want to see this island as we come in.
Maintain 11,000 feet from E237.
Anyway. So you would be pissed because you just spent $80,000 of your hard-earned money on a car that just suddenly quit. And you'd be even more angry if the dealership manager said, well, Mercedes-Benz doesn't owe you a car that works. I would think if I'm going to spend $80,000 on a car, the car would work as intended. it would be as free from mechanical faults as much as humanly possible. Because otherwise, then I might as well go and buy an $8,000 Honda and pocket the rest of the money. But you know, you don't want to buy the $8,000 Honda. You want to buy the $80,000 Mercedes because you know it's supposed to be a very well engineered car. Everybody wrote all these glowing reports and all that. So, the Nick's point is very valid. You buy things because you're investing your time and money in something that you think is a good product. And that's what Microsoft Flight Simulator is. It's a product. Something created by people who, for all intents and purposes, are passionate about aviation. They want to share that with the world. They want people to enjoy the process of flying a plane anywhere in the world. Right? They want that sense of adventure. They want you to have that sense of you know, oh, I'm sitting here in New York, but I'm getting ready to land at Poretta Airport. I would never have this opportunity otherwise. I get to experience a place that I'll probably never get to go to. That's a very powerful thing, especially in the current year with the pandemic. People are able to virtually travel. That's a very powerful thing. And it doesn't help if people who are involved in that, I think they take it seriously. I really do. But when it doesn't feel like they take it seriously, that's the problem. And I think that's where the frustration is now in a lot of the parts of the forums is it doesn't feel like they're taking this problem seriously. And I think they are, it's just that they're not, no matter what they say either, a lot of people are like, yeah, you're just blowing smoke up our backsides. Actions speak louder than words. So, I don't know. That's today's thing for Monday. I don't know. That's my answer all day today.
Foggy 237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Anyway, we're going to cruise right over the island here. Looks really beautiful. Look at this coastal sort of area here. Got the oh man, I bet you that looks beautiful in real life. I bet you that water is just pristine. You can see to the bottom there. Oh, I watched a very, it was kind of cheesy, kind of cliched, stereotypical. You kind of knew how things were going to play out, but I watched it anyway. I watched The Fisherman's Friends, I think it was called. Fisherman's Friends. The true story of these fishermen who sing sea shanties in Cornwall, and somebody discovers them. They want to do a record deal, and all the drama that went with that. It was a pretty okay movie. Wasn't anything that wasn't expected, but that was all right. I watched that last night. It had some funny moments, but it was kind of like, it didn't feel like they took some liberties maybe with the story. Yaza.
Foggy 237, please expedite
Bet you
your
it's
climb
nice and quiet
11,000
right
feet.
now in the town of Piazza. Bet you the locals are sitting there at the bistro having their latte, maybe a sandwich with mustard.
Foggy 237, contact Bastia approach on 123.825.
Bastia.
Good day.
123.825 for Froggy 237.
Santa
Bastia
Severa.
approach Froggy 237 is passing 5,000 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Froggy 237,
No, we're not climbing. We're cruising at 5,000 feet, you numpty. I think we've set ourselves up very well for our approach here into Poretta, Bastia, whatever. Pietra Cobara. Wow, that's an interesting name. I thought it said Cobra. At first glance, that's what it looked like it said. Anywho. Well, so yeah, we're going to do a follow-on flight. Once we land, we're going to plot our... good morning, Amela.
237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Good, right where I am. After last night's events, I am fine cruising at 5,000 feet. Because I have a feeling at some point you're going to tell me to go lower anyway. Yeah, so we're going to do a follow-on flight, and then we will go to Tees Valley Line and do a service there in the Class 101. See how we get on with that. So yeah, so that's the dealio.
Froggy 237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
So we're gonna go all the way out yonder. We're gonna fly past the airport there, go all the way to that point, and then we'll hang a right-hander, come back around, and put this thing on the ground there in Poretta. Should be a nice view coming into the airport. Nice view already. Look at that.
Froggy 237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Yeah, I'll have a little something once we have a break between this and Train Sim World 2. Yep, so tomorrow we are going from what's the name of the airport there? We're taking off from Locarno and we're going to Ambri, and when we take off, we're going to go straight out and we're going to find a point of interest called Castello di Montebello. And then once we get there, we're going to churn and go right up the valley there. About 15, I think cruising altitude was 1,500 or 2,500, something like that was our expected cruising altitude. So we're going to cruise through the valley there, and then as we come around, there's a town, I can't even pronounce the name, and I won't even try. I can't remember what it's called anyway. But as we come around, there's like a nice gentle, we follow the valley and it curves to the left. And as it starts to curve to the left, we're going to call into Embry, and we're going to request clearance to land at runway 11. There should be plenty of room for us to line up for our approach. We'll do kind of that nice leg flight. So we're going to come in. We'll be to the right of the airport. We'll come in, come around, turn. We'll make our left turn legs, and then we'll land. And that will be it. But it should be a very scenic flight tomorrow. Of course, we'll turn off the weather, and we'll have a nice, chilled view of that valley there. And yeah, so that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I think I have it written down somewhere. Well, we'll think about Wednesday on after we get done tomorrow with tomorrow's flight. Probably what we'll do for Wednesday is we'll take off from the airport that's in the description, Capodichino or something like that. We'll take off from there, and we'll keep skirting down the coast of Italy. I think we're going to be right near Salerno, which is one of the Allied landing sites when the Allied forces in World War II went into Italy to start liberating Italy. I would have, if I could have been in World War II, I think I would have preferred to land in Italy. Just saying, because it'd be my luck. I would have found a nice young Italian woman, and we would have fallen in love. And I would have stayed in Italy, and that would have been okay. Some GIs did that. That would have been okay with me. But I wasn't born in that time. Bowl of fruit with yogurt, yeah. Oh, that sounds too healthy, Mick. No, we need some the McDonald's sausage egg McMuffin. That sounds even better than a bowl of fruit with yogurt. Anyway. I'm going to have some sliced pears. Yeah, I'm going to have some sliced pears later once we're done flying. Because I am, although they're canned, so they're not like fresh, but that's okay. Then I'll make some pasta later for lunch.
Foggy 237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
No, I'm good right where I am. I like to be set up. I don't want to be... I'd rather be set up like this because we have enough time and space, for lack of a term, that if we have to do things all by ourselves, we're able to do it. Yeah. The sausage egg McMuffins, I do like those. Although, I don't know if they have them there in the UK, McDonald's, Mick, but the McGriddles with the chicken. Oh, those are really good for breakfast sandwich. you haven't tried those, do try those. I think you'd be like, wow, this is pretty tasty. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm guessing they would have them there too, but if they do, do have one sometime. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at how good they are. Well, if McDonald's is a treat, it shouldn't be the main source of substances when you're eating. If you eat it regularly, it's not very healthy. But I do like yogurt. I've eaten it, you know, sometimes, every so often. I'll get some with if I do have it, I know it's going to sound kind of silly here, but I do try to have like the probiotic yogurt, because yogurt does help with your digestive system overall, I think. But the probiotic yogurt is really good for you too. See, even Abella's like, oh, I think Mick's trying to eat healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing.
Going to 1 tree, 1 decimal, 1 froggy, 2 tree 7.
It's not always easy to eat.
Is at 5,000 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
There goes my numpty co-pilot. Even though it says I'm the one talking, it's my numpty co-pilot. I swear my co-pilot has his own agenda or something. Alright, so you'll see we got our nice... We'll start our right-hander here. Feel the G-forces as we turn ever so slightly. Everybody's pressed back to their seat. Oh my God, what's happening? Frank. What's the pilot doing?
237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
How about you expedite to Numpty Land? Ooh, bazinga. That was a good one. Look at that. You got the nice coastal town. You got these low mountains. Probably a little bit of, maybe in the winter time, depending. Maybe you get a little bit of skiing in there. I can't eat yogurt. It makes my mouth so dry I start feeling dehydrated. That's interesting. No, I've ever experienced that problem with yogurt. Huh. Oh, you know what we didn't turn off the entire time was the landing lights. We've had the landing lights on.
Please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
What the heck? We'll put all the lights on because we want everybody to know we are coming in for a landing. Well, you know.
Froggy 237, contact Marseille Center on 124.725. Good day.
I'd like to fly in this plane in real life, or I'd like to go in one in real life just to see what it's like.
Marseille Center, Froggy 237 is at
I bet you it's
5,000
fun
climbing
to
11,000
fly in.
feet.
Froggy 237, Marseille Center altimeter.
Probably not in inclement weather though, or areas where there's a lot of turbulence, but. Nice approach coming in here. We should be coming up on our leg here in just our last bit of the let's see if we can make our plane dizzy spinning around in there.
Foggy 237, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
I am getting ready to land. Why would I go to 11,000 feet?
Foggy 237, you are 22 miles south of Bastion.
Look at that. We were already at the right altitude. That was just a guess.
Contact Bastion Tower on 121.83.
Oh, Lord.
Climb and maintain 5,000 feet.
I don't know.
Tower on 121.83 Froggy 237.
I'm gonna get a pair of tweezers and I'm gonna start pulling the hairs out.
1 miles south inbound ILS X-ray runway tree 4 approach.
Yes, a full English.
237 Bastion Tower. Altimeter 29.902 wind 269.
Alright, let's get some flaps. Let's get the gear down.
Runway tree 4 approach.
Let's go into approach mode.
Cleared ILS X-ray runway tree 4 approach Froggy 237.
Bastion Tower, Corsica 20 tree 7 miles southeast inbound for DME runway tree 4 approach.
Corsica 203 Bastion Tower. Altimeter 29.902 wind 269 tree. Cleared
Oh, we
VLR,
got somebody
cleared
ahead
runway
of
tree
us.
4 approach.
Oh boy.
Cleared VOR DME
You know what that
runway
means,
tree 4
folks.
approach Corsica 20 tree.
You know what that means. Oh man. We're gonna have to go around and watch. He's at least, he said 7 miles, so he's about halfway between us and the airport. Doggone it. And it's a single runway. There's no telling if, and we've already, okay, there goes our glide slope. We're locked in on the localizer now. I'm hoping if we, he's on, he's just about over, he's getting ready to touch down here, I would think. I'm hoping he gets off the runway PDQ so we can land. Yeah, here we go again, Vic. Vic, I was thinking when the whole thing happened last night with the 747, my first thought was, in my mind, I heard your voice going, "Oh no, I can't believe this!" Like you do when you're playing, when you're playing FIFA with Pulse, and you guys get a terrible call against you, or the other team's just getting away with their own silliness. So, all right, if we have to go around, we'll get through it. It's okay. There seems to be a lot more of that going on lately. I don't know why. I've heard a lot of people call, or a lot of the missed approaches or whatever. Yeah, it's very strange. try to slow down a little bit more here. So we give that plane time. It should be on the ground by now, I would think. And they just need to clear the runway forthwith. Hold tight, everyone. Amilla, you said Nick. Now that's not his weekend name. That's his Monday name, too. Mick is not to blame for anything. There we go. All right. Get off the runway, Corsica. Let's go. Clear that runway. I'm coming in. I'm not going around if I can help it. So help me. I need this landing. Well, this looks really nice here. I think that's what it says. Well, we caught that glide slope like way earlier than I expected. Missed the shot. I think we're going to be okay. If Corsica 203 can just hurry up and get off the runway, we'll be fine. We've still got a little bit of distance to go. I think we'll be all right. But if we're close, I think we're just going to put it on the ground. We're not going to go around. We're just going to land it. Call it good. All right. We are ready to. All right, you heard them. They said we're clear to land. I kind of know what to expect now. It's going to be just as we get to the edge of the runway. That's going to go around. Go around. Nope, I'm putting this thing on the ground. Corsica has had plenty of time. I've slowed down, I think, plenty to give them the opportunity to get off the runway. So, for some reason, when I do long-haul flights, it crashes. But it crashed. I think now, since you're on the are you playing on the PC, Amilla, or are you playing on the Xbox? Because I think you're playing it on the PC, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, we are prepared to fire the autopilot here any moment. Now, here's the thing. Now, I want everybody to take note of this as we are entering the pattern here. Corsica 203 has not said that they have contacting ground. Okay, so as far as we know, Corsica 203 has cleared the runway. It is gone. Console down. Okay, so hold that thought for just a second, Amilla, because I want to point this out. So there's been no communication about Corsica 203 at this point. We are cleared to land according to Batista. Or Bastia, I mean.
500.
Right? Now, this is the part that's going to frustrate me. As far as we know, that runway is clear. We haven't been told otherwise. There's been no other communication about Corsica 203. So I'm going to land it. I'm not going to go around. That just doesn't make any sense. Because that's happened before. Right? Oh, look at this. This is going to be a phenomenal landing. Okay, at least we didn't have that happen to us like it did before.
Foggy 237 exit runway when able.
We're going to clear the runway, so anybody else who's on approach,
Foggy 237
that worked out.
contact ground on 118.0.
That worked out very well.
Going to 118.0 Froggy 237. Bastia ground, Froggy 237 taxi to parking.
Froggy 237 taxi to gate Alpha
So,
7 using
that's what
taxiway
happened to
Mike
me
Alpha.
last night, Manila.
Taxiing to
The-
gate Alpha 7 via taxiway Mike Alpha Froggy 237.
We had that issue where it seems to me there's been, and it's weird because it's like a very finicky sort of thing. You could fly a bunch of times, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, at some point, it doesn't work. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, on behalf of myself and First Officer Clarence, whose job is on the line, because Clarence doesn't, he's not inspiring confidence in me anymore. I don't feel very confident in his capabilities as an autopilot. Come on, move forward. Oh yeah, now you want to stop. Yeah. Oh, well, that's as good as it's going to be. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. Once the box disappears, then I know we're good. That looks like a Beechcraft Baron thing right there. Alright, let's just turn the batteries off. So I don't know if, like, on Sundays, for instance, is it an issue where the we're gonna do our follow-on flight here. We'll get that plugged in and then we'll be airborne shortly. So I don't know. Is it a? We're just gonna go runway 16 depart. We're gonna go Capodichino. Runway 06. Yes. Arrive. VFR flight, low altitude. And ILS 06 X-ray, and our departure route Brim. I'm gonna find that 6 Sierra 16. There it is. So it's a nice departure along the coast there, and then we'll turn towards that little island, and then we'll be kind of across. Oh, we'll be near Vatican, or we'll be near, not far from Rome. There we go. That'd be cool. All right, let's get back in here. So yeah, I wonder if that's what happened. It seems kind of hit and miss with the long distance flights. But I don't know if it's like the time of day that we try to fly those, or if it's the or what, or if it's a server issue.
Runway 16 IFR to Naples.
Ooh,
Froggy 237 altimeter 29.9er 11359er at 17. Cleared for
ooh, no,
takeoff
we're not
runway
doing 17 knot winds. No, thank you.
Cleared for takeoff runway 16 Froggy 237.
Climb and maintain. Oh, let's get the weather turned off first before we forget. 9,000 feet is our. So yeah, I don't know, Mila. I mean, I wasn't far out from Lisbon when. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The funny thing is, I can't say for sure when everything turned off. At what point? Like I had stepped away because I was on autopilot, went to use the restroom, came back, and that's when I discovered everything. All right, everything is all set to go. Let's get airborne. So we dropped some passengers off here, and now we're on our way to Naples. Welcome to Italy. Anybody else ever seen Stripes? Bill Murray? Sergeant Hulka?
Froggy 237 contact Marseille Center on 124.725. Good day.
Don't sink.
Oh.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, this is the second time this has happened. Oh crap, 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 crap.
Don't sink.
Crap.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Froggy 237, did you copy?
All right, hold on. We're going to restart that one. Something didn't work. Yeah, I'm looking at the forums at the moment. Okay. Wow, what? Okay, I think... Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. That was really weird. All right, so... Or it says climb and maintain 7,000 feet this time. Did it say 7,000 before or 9,000? I don't remember now. Something's not right. Alright, let's try this again. I think what I didn't do is I didn't leave the flaps down for takeoff to just climb naturally. And when I took those off, it kind of leveled the plane out, or it kind of like nosed down. Alright, let's try this again.
Froggy 237 contact Marseille Center on 124.725. Good day.
I know what the problem is.
Going to 124.725 Froggy 237. Marseille Center Froggy 237 is passing 1,200 feet, climbing 7,000 feet.
Froggy 237 Marseille Center altimeter 29.9er to continue to Bordeaux. Papa is planned.
All right. That could have gone very badly. There was no way I was going to recover from that one. It didn't seem like. I'll tell you what.
Marseille Center, ED 8824 is passing flight level 3, 60 descending 10,000 feet. ED 8824 Marseille Center, continue as planned.
I'm glad I chose this departure thing because it's a nice straight out sort of thing. So I was going to say, Bella, I don't know that you're going to find any answers in the forums other than it seemed to me, and this is just my observation, take it for what it's worth. I saw a lot of people posting yesterday about crashes to dashboard. Very similar situation to you. You'd flown hundreds and hundreds of nautical miles. You were ready to land. You were, within that window of, okay, you're starting to make your descents, and, you're trying to plan, looking ahead and figuring, okay, where do I got to be? What do I got to do? Sort of thing. And then that happens. And so it seemed like it was like I tried a couple different flights after what happened with the 747, and I kept getting crashes to dashboard. So I don't know if it's like the fact that it was Sunday evening on the East Coast, or it wasn't like 2 o'clock in the morning where most people probably are asleep. So the only thing I could think of was that the servers were overwhelmed.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
We can do that.
Climb and maintain 13,000
cruising altitude,
feet
I think, is going to be
2237.
22,000. Yeah, and that's something that Mick brought up as well, that if there needs to be a point where you can save, kind of like in Train Sim World 2, when you're doing Sandpatch Grade, for instance. You've gotten to Mance, we'll use Mance as an example, and you don't want to do the whole service. Second, put it on vertical speed. Get up to 13,000 feet. You want to be able to save that point, and that way you can load it back up. Maybe you want to go grab lunch, or you got to run some errands real quick, but you don't have time to complete the service then. So, yes, a save function would be preferable. It saves your flight plan, but it doesn't save your a point in the game where if you could say, I want to save everything here, I want to come back to this. And I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if that would cause a problem. Because sometimes we've tried saving in Train Sim World 2, and it says you cannot save your game right now. There's a bug or a glitch or something. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of parts that need to work together that I don't know that they can figure out how to make it all work together. But what do I know? I'm just guessing. It just seems that that's part of the problem. And the fact that there's so many variables, even on the Xbox version, that you don't really know what to expect, or like we talked about before, you start eliminating the little things that you can think of that may be causing the issue, and then when that doesn't technically solve anything, then what are you left with? And I think that's where a larger sense of frustration comes from.
Contact Rome Center on 131.1. Good day.
Ooh, we're talking Rome.
131.1 Froggy 237. Rome Center Froggy 237 is passing 9,800 feet, climbing 13,000 feet.
Froggy 237, Rome Center altimeter 29.902, continue to Nemet as planned.
Nemet, that should be the one that we're flying towards right now. Yep. And now I'm expecting that we're going to go up to 22,000. That was what the... And maybe before we get to Nemet, or just as we get close to 13,000, that's when they're going to say go to 22,000. I kind of feel like just putting in 22,000 now, to be honest. It's a little chilly up here. I'm going to put the automatic de-icer on the props. Color de-ice. Put that on auto. Not that I've had any failures with the ice on the prop, but anyways, yeah, here, watch, we're going to get close to 13,000 feet, and that's where we're going to go to 22,000.
Froggy 237, climb and maintain flight level 210.
I wasn't too far off.
Maintain flight level 210, Froggy 237.
Unbelievable. Or as Vic would say, I just can't believe it. What are you thinking, air traffic control? Rome radar? I just don't believe it. I do, hopefully one day. Excuse me. I'd like to get a computer that can handle this game, because I think it would be much easier if I could do this on the computer, and that way I can join Mick. Okay, bye, Milla. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for coming by, hanging out. Do leave a like if you could, please, and thank you. It helps out something or other. I don't know what, but that's what they say. It's true. I do say that. Yeah, it'd be good. If I was got it on the computer, I think it'd be great, because then we could definitely I think it would be a lot easier to do the group flying on the computer. But again, it's an investment in a way. But I would like, you know, maybe if I felt compelled enough, I'd even do American Truck Simulator with you guys. Oh, thank you, Mella. I appreciate that. Miss you already. Oh, Nick. I guess let's scrub my face a little bit better. Get a little face fuzz, and my skin is itching because it's drying out. I gotta. Well, I think we're at the point now where Mick doesn't need to hold anybody's hands when we come in for a landing. I know early on Mick was like, I don't know. As long as we keep nailing the landings, Mick is pretty happy, I think. Yeah, it would be fun, I think. We'd have a good time. I have to start looking at something like that. Put, let's see how cold it is now. Ooh, -7 degrees Fahrenheit up here, and we're only at 18,000 feet. Wow. Yeah, that would be fun though. I was leaning back to pull up. So was I, Mick. I think it's just that natural reaction. You're just like, oh, let me move backwards. Maybe I can force the plane to do what I want it to do. Yeah, that was a bit of a weird takeoff, but it seems like we're doing okay now. I try to pick departures whenever possible that kind of give me that time to, you know, we put the wheels up and just kind of climb naturally with the flaps down and the first notch there to help with the lift, and then that gives me time to hit the autopilot and the navigation button, and it works out pretty well, I think. So I was expecting 22,000, but if they're saying 21,000, I'm okay with that.
Climb and maintain flight.
Wow, a whole extra. Really? You could have just.
Climb and maintain flight level 220.
What are you like, air
237.
traffic control? What in the bloody blue blazes? Honestly, I don't know. Can I fire Rome radar, because they're trying my patience today. Why would you tell me to go to 21,000 feet and then go like, oh yeah, we forgot, throw on an additional 1,000 feet? We forgot to tell you to go to 20. It's like that marriage, you know. It's like being in a relationship when you go to the store and you're 3/4 of the way home, and then your significant other says, "Oh, I need you to get another half dozen or a couple dozen more eggs." Why didn't you tell me that when I was at the store? Well, I'm telling you now. It's that weird relationship where you just never know what to expect sometimes. And it doesn't always, it's not a very positive relationship. It's like, because it feels like the other person, in this case, Rome Radar, doesn't respect us. Why didn't you just tell us to go to right to 22,000 feet? Why would you mess around and go like, oh, throw on an additional 1,000 feet, by the way, just cause. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? I want to, I think what the next the next logical thing is going to be is to turn off all the other traffic and just fly, so that way it's just us. We won't hear a lot of other jibber jabber on the radio, which I don't mind that so much, to be honest. I kind of like it because it feels real. But just like what happened with Corsica 203, we didn't get any other information about what was supposed to happen with Corsica 203. We knew they were on final ahead of us. They were cleared to land, but there was no other communication after that. So you start to wonder, did the plane actually clear the runway? What happened to the plane? Did it just suddenly go like it was like the Bermuda Triangle? Suddenly did it disappear? Did it fall into a secret place on the runway? And what happened? But luckily we were able to land. But I think, these sorts of things that happen with air traffic control, like go to 21,000. Oh, you're almost at 21. By the way, go to 22. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, it's definitely a Monday. No doubt about it. Coming back towards the Italian coast there. I know we'll turn inland, I think after on our way to Metal. Okay. And then we'll turn, I think we're going to turn inland here. Or maybe we're going to fly straight on and then we'll be over the Italian coast. And we'll fly over some water again, but hopefully we'll have some nice, we'll be able to see the coastline there. Not that we can make out much detail, but yeah. So yeah, it should be a kind of a quick turnaround to our Taiwan Peace Valley line.
Alitalia Tree, you are 44 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Tango Alpha Quebec transition. Clear to Tango Alpha Quebec. Swiss 1736, you are 49 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Tango Alpha Quebec transition. Clear to Tango Alpha Quebec.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Tango Alpha Quebec transition. Clear to Tango Alpha Quebec. Alitalia Tree. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Tango Alpha Quebec transition. Clear to Tango Alpha Quebec.
We'll make landfall here in a moment. And I think we track down the coast there a little bit, and then we should start setting up for our approach into Capodichino. You know, it's interesting that, okay, that marker's at 21,800 feet, but ATC says go to 22,000. Like, we're capable of going to 21,800, right? We're capable of that, but I don't know, it's very strange. You have one viewer on Twitch.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Tango Alpha Quebec transition. Clear to Tango
Welcome
Alpha
to my...
Quebec.
Oh, I got a couple viewers on Twitch now. Welcome everybody on Twitch.
Cityliner 61, contact Rome approach on 127.905. Good day.
A lot of radio chatter all of a sudden.
Going to 127.905, Cityliner 61.
Alpine 2926 traffic is 9 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 370 generic.
Well, that's definitely not
Report them
us.
inside. Melodia 1230 traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 390 generic. Report them inside. Alpine 2926 traffic inside.
Melodia 1230 have the generic in sight.
Well, isn't
Melodia
that slow?
237 traffic is 3 o'clock, 2 miles at flight level 180 generic. Report them inside.
Sure.
Froggy
Okay.
237 traffic in sight.
What, they don't have to see me? That's kind of weird. Normally it's, they would...
Tree, contact Rome approach on 125.5. Good day.
Going to 125.5, Alitalia Tree.
It's kind of weird. Normally there's at least some back and forth that whoever I spotted has to spot me as well. Kind of strange. Oh, Mick's doing the double duty. He's watching on Twitch and on YouTube. thank you, Nick. Keeping an eye on things over there on that end. Greatly appreciate it.
Froggy 237 traffic is 7 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 180 generic. Report them in sight.
Froggy 237
Sure.
have the generic in sight.
Swiss 1736 contact roll approach on 127.905.
Wow.
Good day.
I guess nobody wants to see if they can see me. I feel kind of left out.
127.905 for Swiss 1736.
It's not a very rewarding relationship. I'm just full of it today. Alright. I figured a few more people would have been in the chat, but it's Monday. I know it's kind of hard to. Lots to do usually on a Monday. Especially if you got kids going back to school.
Rome Center Turkish 1865 is passing 6,100 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Turkish 1865 road center altimeter
Well,
29.92.
I'll sleep better tonight
Charlie
knowing
Mike Papa as planned.
Turkish 1865 is going to 3,000 feet. I'm sure they are keeping an eye on you. Yeah. Oh, got a few more viewers now on Twitch. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We are on our way to Capodichino. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, we're on our way there, and we will be landing, and we'll be wrapping up this stream, and then preparing to go over on Train Signal 2, East Valley Line, in the Class 101. Do some passenger services there, and then that will be it for today. Tomorrow, I think we'll kind of stick with the flying first thing. We're going to do a nice, relaxing VFR flight to the valley in Italy. Locarno to Ambri. We'll be in the Cessna 152. Should be a nice, relaxing flight through the valley. So please do check that out. I stream this simultaneously on Twitch and YouTube through the use of Aircast. So if you are watching on Twitch, there should be a link, I think, in the description or about me sort of box that should provide you a link to my YouTube channel. But I have to stream it on Twitch in order to use Aircast to be able to do the stream onto YouTube. So it saves me time instead of having to download the stream and put it on YouTube, and it has to go through all the checks and whatnot. So alright, so let's see here. OST
Turkish 1865, you were 19 miles north of Fiume.
is Kia.
Contact Fiume Tower on 123.725
Is Kia
when
is at
inbound on the approach.
97 nautical miles. We're a little bit off track there, it looked like.
Tower on 123.725 Turkish 1865.
Let's see if we can kind of correct back to the right a little bit. Should. There we go. Plane's rattling a little bit, like we're getting turbulence. It's kind of weird. Hello, I love watching the King Air in flight. What's the plan? We're doing an ILS approach on runway 06. So that's the plan. We did land earlier at Bastia, the Poretta airport, I believe it's called. And then we took off from there, and we're
Alitalia 719, you are 35 miles east.
set to land here in Capodichino.
Left approach via Charlie Mike Papa transition. Clear to Charlie Mike Papa.
Or maybe it's Capodichino. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but anyway. So yes, it's that's our plan. As soon as we get on the ground and taxi to a parking spot, we'll be wrapping this up. And I'm going to take a short break. And, wow, okay. That sounds like a different airport. I wonder if that's the one that we... there's a larger airport that we just passed over. Fiumicino? That's a pretty good sized airport, so I wonder if the traffic is for that one. So anyway, so yeah, that's our plan. Yeah, I do like the King Air. It's pretty easy to fly. It's pretty fast. At least I think it is. Not everybody may agree, but yeah, looks good, flies good. There is a newer. They have the King Air C90 in the marketplace, which I did buy, but the only problem is autopilot's not working, nav's not working. When you press the selected altitude button, you don't get the
contact Rome approach on 127.905.
you don't get the none of that stuff is working. So it's, I think whoever developed that, there's got to be some fixes for that, but it's supposed to be the updated version of this plane, but it's none of the systems, none of the dashboard stuff is working. So once a fix is released for that, we could step up into the C90, which I think is the new, like I said, I believe it's the newer version of the King Air. But,
clear to Charlie Mike Papa.
Rome Center, Alitalia 719 is at 10,100 feet descending 3,000.
Well, thank you, Hard Day's Night.
Alitalia 719 Road Center.
Appreciate that.
9.902 continue to Charlie Mike Papa as planned. Alitalia 719 contact Rome approach on 127.905. Good day.
Yeah, I think as hopefully as fixes come for this simulator, then we can start doing a lot more, fly in different aircraft. That's what I hope, but it's very it's kind of like we just don't know what to expect and when to expect it.
Approach by Charlie Mike Papa transition cleared to Charlie Mike Papa Alitalia 1730.
Wow, there's a lot of traffic. I don't really think it's for our airport. Now, this is the interesting thing. We're not on here. We're not on the track, but according to this, we are on track. So I don't know if it's just that there's that minor variance here, and we're within that acceptable kind of a limit.
Froggy 237, descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet, Froggy 237.
Froggy 237, you are 57 miles west. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect ILS X-ray runway 06 approach via ISKIA transition. Clear to ISKIA.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect ILS X-ray runway 06 approach via Iskia transition. Clear to Iskia Froggy 237.
Oh, I've been muted this entire time. I didn't realize that. I must have bumped the mute button. Anyway, I do appreciate everybody coming in. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a flight from Locarno to Ambri. We're going to do a VFR flight in the Cessna 152. Should be a very kind of chilled, scenic sort of flight. And then we'll be back in the King Air 350i. We'll be flying from Capodichino, or Capodichino, however it's pronounced. We will be continuing along the Italian coast, heading south towards the toe of the boot, I guess, as some people call it. Make our way down the coast there and hopefully have some nice scenery. But so the flight for tomorrow, we happen to discover Ambri and Locarno coming into Linate in an Airbus A320. Saw that valley and was like, that seems like a really cool sort of place to fly. So I set that up. That's gonna I've already made that plan for tomorrow. It's a very straightforward, no frills sort of thing. Hopefully we don't have any issues with that flight. So yeah. So anybody new here, you're more than welcome to hang out. Please do follow if you would like to. It's all optional. We try to work within the situations we find ourselves in here on Flight Simulator. Sometimes it works to our advantage and other times it doesn't. But yeah. Try to learn from the mistakes and improve whenever possible. Alright, so we should turn. Let's see if we see it. No, it's not on the map yet. Got to get a little bit closer here, and then we'll get lined up for really nice scenery for sure today. We don't have the live weather turned on, so we have some nice sunny skies. Get to enjoy the scenery as much as possible. Yeah, it's going to be a quick turnaround to our Train Sim World 2 stream as soon as we finish this up, which is okay. Got just about half an hour or so before we go live on Train Sim World 2 in the Tees Valley line. Class 101. Oh, this looks beautiful right here. Look at this huge cliff right here. Wow. That's amazing. The port there. I wonder how many people have tried to dive off of that. and live to tell about it. Be a very dangerous situation, I think. Especially if you get that, you don't jump out far enough. Alright, we should be turning, there we go, there's our approach. Alright, let's start getting ready to put this thing on the ground. Go ahead and turn our landing lights on. Heck, we'll even throw the taxi lights on too, just because if anybody knows me, you know I like to have all the lights on as much as possible.
Froggy 237 contact approach on 124.35. Good day.
That is just really beautiful. This is a good choice flying down here. The second leg today.
Froggy 237, 4,000 feet.
Froggy 237 approach altimeter 29.9 continue as planned.
We're going into Naples, basically. Very beautiful area of Italy. Now that's weird. That's over there. So it seems like we're going to do this weird sort of zigzag as we line up for our ILS approach. Be another marker, so I should be able to throw on the approach mode. There we go. I think after this we could probably click it just as we get to that marker there. Is that our USR? Yes. Once we get past USR there, we'll click on the approach mode. Oh, look at this. This is... wow. Really lovely scene. It's not...
Froggy 237 descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Okay.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet, Froggy 237.
Let's get that. Get there as quickly as we can so we're set up. What is the next marker there? CF06. That's 7 nautical miles. Yep, that's the one. Wow, this is just... this is amazing.
Froggy 237, you are 12 miles southwest of Naples. Contact Naples Tower on 118.51 inbound.
Tower
Will
on
do.
118.5, Froggy 237. Naples Tower, Froggy 237, 11 miles southwest inbound ILS X-ray runway 06 approach.
Froggy 237,
There we go.
Naples Tower. Altimeter 29.9 to wind 268 at tree. Cleared ILS X-ray runway 06 approach.
Naples Tower, Froggy 237, inbound ILS X-ray runway 06 approach.
Froggy 237, Naples Tower. Altimeter 29.9 to wind
Come on,
268 at
Clarence,
tree.
you can do it.
Cleared ILS X-ray runway 06 approach.
Well, we've got the clearance,
Cleared
Clarence.
ILS X-ray runway 06 approach Froggy 237.
Man, this is just really... Isle of Nisita? Looks like there's there's a small airport right there. Wow. That would be a doozy to try to land on. But, whoa. I wonder if that's got like one of those sloped runways. You know, like a 12 degree, you have to land going uphill and you take off going downhill kind of thing. There we go. I think we're pretty much lined up now. Yep. It's got the glide slope.
68 entry. Cleared to land runway 06.
Go ahead and slow down
Cleared
even
to land
more.
runway 06 Froggy 237.
This is just beautiful. Well, from the flight deck, we hope everybody's enjoyed the flight today. Thank you all for coming in on behalf of myself and Flight First Officer Clarence, who's here but not here. If you look through the window, sometimes you can see the co-pilot in the seat, but not always. Okay, this seems like we're just a bit off. Like we're just to the left of the runway. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to release autopilot. We're going to bring this thing ourselves. Oops.
Engaging autopilot.
It's okay. Well, we can turn the flight director off. Yes. Turn off the approach mode as well. We're going to put this on the ground ourselves. This seems to... There's been some instances lately where the ILS lineup always takes us a little bit one way or the other from the runway. Sometimes we get a really good lineup, other times we don't. Wow, it feels like there's a bit of wind. Even at 3 knots, it seems like there's way more wind at 3 knots. Throttle all the way back. Looking at the very end of the runway there. There we are.
Froggy 237 exit runway when able.
Well, welcome to Naples, everybody. We're going to turn over here, contact ground for our parking instructions. Don't. Huh? Well, this should be an open
Froggy
airport.
237 contact ground on 121.9er.
121
Looks like our
decimal
parking
niner
spot
for
right
Froggy
there.
237. Naples ground, Froggy 237 taxi to parking.
Froggy 237 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha Froggy 237.
Oh, that's like a huge ramp. Seems a lot bigger than necessary. What did Mick say? Oh, thank you, Mick. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've noticed lately, every so often we get it's like the ILS is just off a little bit. And I don't know if it's a something that came with the World Update, Update 6. But that's okay. We correct for it. We can land the plane ourselves. This isn't too much plane to handle that we can't do it ourselves. All right, let's turn off the engines.
Oral warning, okay.
Let's turn off all of our lights. I apologize for the noise in the background. Somebody's driving very angry on a Monday morning because they got to go to work. Their American football team probably didn't win, so they're angry at the world. All right, let's turn off the battery. That should end that. So 84, almost 85 hours totally flown. I usually do some night flying off stream. But anyway, that's going to be it for right now. I need to wrap this up and then prepare for the Train Sim World 2 live stream. So I greatly appreciate everybody coming in today and enjoying the flight with us.